Hi, it's Tim from thermoforming.tech, and today we have another Thermoforming Talks video. And in this video, I want to discuss with you something which must happen with every thermoforming project in the beginning, but usually it is not happening in the beginning, and later you have to pay a high price for that. And this is about your project planning stage and your proper market research. For years, I'm communicating helping projects where people are coming and saying, we found an opportunity and we are going to start our own production. We found a couple of products which are produced by other suppliers, and we find this market amazing. There are nice added values there. The entrance level and the entrance barrier is quite high, so not everybody are going there. So yeah, let's jump in and let's find what equipment we should get to start production. For example, it can be dairy cups or meat trays or any other thing which is really sold with a high margin and which is maybe not so easy to enter, but is really interesting and tasty when you get there. So what's the problem? I want to share with you a framework which I always try to give to my customers in the beginning of their project. And there are always three things you should focus on. And the first thing is the pain of the market, of your customers. The idea is that anyway, something is wrong and something is not done in a perfect way, how it should be. And there can be multiple things which will be bringing pain and suffering to your customers. For example, there is no reliability in most of the suppliers because their capacity is overloaded and the customers have to jump from one project to another because everybody cannot simply supply all the needed products for these customers, and everybody focus on the high volume customers, and the average ones, they just do not get the proper attention, especially in the high season. But that's like just the most simple one and the most common one example, and that's what everybody is thinking. Okay, I see there is not enough machine capacity in this project, so I want to jump there. But there will be another one, and there can be more than this. For example, if you keep in mind the fact that one truck brings you 20 tons of thermoforming sheet, polystyrene, polypropylene, PET, doesn't matter. When you will be supplying your customers with thermoforming products, it will be like 4 to 7 tons depending on the material and the project. So you can find another amazing advantage of decreasing the costs of your customers by there are multiple ways for this. For example, you can decrease the nesting height and put more products to one box and to put more products on one pallet and save their money. But there is even more than that. If in your region you have like 5, 6, 7, 10 customers who is buying this product and the supplier is quite far, then they have to keep the stock on their facility and they have to increase their captured capital and inventory. And this is another opportunity. If you're right next to them, you can produce the packaging which they need and you can keep it in your warehouse and supply them in 8 hours or like 24 hours or whatever. This wall-to-wall conception where one production is making like bottles for Danone, and those bottles are processed in another place, in another factory, in another company, but they are wall to wall and they have a common conveyor in between of them. So this is just like another example, and there should be more of them. So you need to find this pain, because if you don't find the pain, if you don't know what is wrong there, the only thing you can offer to your customers is cheaper product. And if your product is cheaper, then you have to decrease the added value in the project. But every time you're jumping in a new market, the old players, they do not say, okay, yeah, let's give 30% of the market to these guys. No, they will start to fight with you and the price will go down a little bit by a little bit. And at some moment, you find out that all of you are producing the products with a low added value, and it was not the project which you are thinking in the beginning. So find the pain, it will save your project and it will save your added value for sure. But after the pain is here, you need to find the cure. And if your production, if your product is not solving their problem, or solving their problem but creating more than one and creating new problems for them, Well, again, you have a problem here, and nobody wants to get new problems with the packaging because packaging is just one part of their product. I mean, our customers, and it usually between like 5 and maybe like maximum 15% of the product which is packed inside. And nobody wants to get new problems with packaging just because the price is a little bit cheaper, unless we're talking about the mass market segment, but we'll discuss it in another video. So finally, the delivery channel is also important. And if you found the pain and if you found the cure and your product is the cure for that pain, but you cannot communicate with your customers, you don't have a marketing strategy, you don't have a message, you don't have a sales team, or you don't have a website and communication channel through the website, through the videos, through the representing trade shows, then again you have a problem. And this problem is quite painful. I have a customer, amazing engineer, who owns this factory, and he's really skilled and he's brilliant and really upgrading and empowering his products. He can make packaging like 15-20% thinner than everybody on the market and can use machines which are cheaper in processing by making crazy molds and making some inline automations there. But nobody's buying his products except of the customers who are around him, and he's not growing for more than 15 years. And when you try to discuss it and I say, okay, but how could it be that your beautiful products are not bringing you customers? He's having his own theory and he's saying something like, well, these purchase managers, they all have their own interest and nobody cares about the product quality. They just looking for some like connections with the supplier and they're staying there and I cannot fight through. So in some cases, it might be so, for sure, but definitely not when you're having a production with more than 100 tons of plastic packaging products, which are sold over like 5-7 regions. I don't believe it is really like that. So you must think from the beginning how your customers will know about you, and they will know that you know about their pain and you will have the cure for this pain. And one of the best things you could do when you're starting to go directly to your customers and discuss it with them and explain to them your project and explain that you really would like to do something in a different way. But here is another trick. When you're doing this, try to meet with the guys who really make the decision. Because if you're meeting with the purchase managers, you will get nothing. The owner, the CEO, or at least the factory manager, these are the people who can give you the real answers and who can tell you about your problems. Just to give you an idea, I want to illustrate it with one story which happened with one of my customers. They bought one of the most expensive thermoforming lines and extrusion lines, and they got the very expensive mold for producing the cups for yogurt. And for more than 2 years, they could not start supplying to the core customer, which was like the whole idea of starting this production. And every time they bring their products for tests, they receive something like, it's not bad, but you have this problem and you have that problem, and we don't like these elements on this, so can you please redesign it, can you modify it? They were sending their molds to the supplier or ordering from their supplier who is in another country some modifications. And after 2 years, the technical director of my customer said, enough of that. I don't want to hear anything what sales guys are saying. I just want to go there and see it with my own eyes why it is not working, because I know we have a perfect cup and I know that our cup is even better than our competitors. So I want to clarify why we have this problem. And when he has arrived to the factory of the customer, he met with the process engineer of his customer, and he asked him, okay, what's wrong with our cup? Can you just show it? I have like 10 boxes with me. I know that you have like maybe 15 boxes in your production. Maybe we want to go to the laboratory, or just explain to me what's wrong. And the answer was brilliant. The answer was like, we don't have any kind of problem with your cups from the very beginning. And I told to my purchase managers that it's okay. Procurement team, they know that your product is perfect, so it's all about you, them, and financial conditions of the project. Just try to think how that guy felt at that moment after they spent 2 years and more than 100,000 euros on the modifications for the projects, which actually were not the problem. The problem was like the purchase team objections, which were not worked properly. So try to think about your project in the beginning. Not the equipment, not the mold is the question which you need to solve, not how much money you will spend on that, but who are your customers? What is their problem, and how you can solve their problem with your product, and how you will notify them that you are here. If you do this framework and if you go through this framework, you will find out that your project will have much faster, your project will spend much less time on starting up and getting those first orders, because these customers, they might be waiting for you when you announce, okay, I know your problems, this is what we're gonna do. Maybe you make some sampling and you bring them the samples, so they will be waiting when you start, and it will help you a lot in the first months of your production, when you really struggle to get your customers, to get your audience, and when you struggle to prove to your customers that you're worth trying and it's worth testing of your product. So this framework really helps to lots of thermoforming companies. Just keep it in mind and try to focus on these things first, and then proceed to something else like choosing equipment, finding the mold maker, the extrusion line, and whatever. It was Tim from Thermoforming.tech. Subscribe to our channel, and if you have a question, you can find me on LinkedIn or you can book a meeting with us, and we are here to help you. Have a great day. Bye.